Welcome to Sage Audio. Today, we're doing a delay masterclass. To get the most from your music, watch the entirety of each chapter for a complete understanding of the topic. But first, if you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Comparing reverb and delay. Reverb and delay seem like very different forms of processing, but they work in very similar ways. Algorithmic reverb is made up of multiple delay taps to emulate the sound of room reflections. Delay plugins typically utilize fewer delay taps, making each delay a little more obvious. Reverb can be used somewhat similarly to delay and vice versa, but they do have distinct sounds. Let's quickly listen to both with similar settings to hear how the additional delay taps of the reverb alter the character of the effect.
My heart is under the sea, drowning for clemency. And I'm not really brave, but this is nature, I won't leave you. I thought that it would work, baby, I was sure. But you never loved me and you leave me out.
Tape delay emulation. The first delay effects were created using either multiple tape machines or a tape machine with multiple tape heads. For example, if you had a tape machine with 2 tape heads and ran 2-track tape through it with both heads on, you'd get a delay. The delay would be caused by the distance between the tape heads, as the first head would read the signal, followed by the second head reading it moments later, creating 2 identical signals in quick succession. Today we can emulate this effect with plugins, so let's take a quick listen to that. If you're enjoying the video, consider hitting the like button. It really helps us bring you more videos. Delay less than 130 milliseconds. If a delay is less than 130 milliseconds, we perceive the 2 signals as being one signal. This is a great option for thickening vocals, guitars, or any source that you want to sound fuller, since it'll just seem like a louder, more complex signal. If the delayed signal is longer than 130 milliseconds, we hear the delay and the original signal as 2 separate signals. So, in short, if you want a thickening effect, keep the delay time under 130 milliseconds. Let's take a listen.
My heart is under the sea, drowning for clemency. And I'm not really brave, but this is nature, I won't leave you. I thought that it would work, baby, I was sure. But you never loved me and you leave me out.
Timing delay with BPM. Most delay plugins let you quickly sync the delay taps with your host BPM. You'll typically notice a quarter note, half note options, and so on. But we'll get more control if we set the delay time manually by dividing 60,000 by the BPM to get a quarter note. Once we have this number, we can make the delay a little shorter to create a push delay, or a little slower to create a dragged delay. Let's listen to these slightly imperfect delay times and see how they affect the signal.
I won't leave you. I thought that it would work, baby, I was sure. But you never left me and you leave me out.
Only a small percentage of people that watch our videos are subscribed, so if you're enjoying the video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Delay and stereo imaging. When using a stereo delay plugin, it's important to know how it might affect your stereo image. If you set the delay times of your left and right channels to different times, you'll greatly affect your stereo width. Sometimes this is done purposely, like with a doubler plugin, but it can have a negative effect as well. That said, if you're delaying your left and right channels, keep them set to identical times unless you're purposely expanding your stereo image. Let's take a listen to the effect.
My heart is under the sea, drowning for clemency. And I'm not really brave, but this is nature, I won't leave you. I thought that it would work, baby, I was sure. But you never loved me and you leave me out.
Feedback and crosstalk. Let's look at 2 important delay functions. Feedback is the amount of the delayed signal that'll be fed back into the signal chain. Since this value is less than the original, it won't create increasingly powerful feedback like an unintentional feedback loop, but will diminish over time. Crosstalk is the amount of the left channel being fed into the right, and vice versa. This can have a widening effect due to mild phase cancellation. Additionally, this function emulates analog gear, since mild crosstalk was a defect of a lot of analog equipment. Let's take a listen to these two functions in particular.
My heart is under the sea, drowning for clemency. And I'm not really brave, but this is nature, I won't leave you. I thought that it would work, baby, I was sure. But you never left me, and you leave me out.
If you'd like our custom plugin presets, audio samples, loops, download sheets, a members-only badge next to your name and comments, and more, consider joining with the link in the description. Time and frequency modulation. Modulation is an important part of many delay plugins. Most modulation is either time-based or frequency-based, but on occasion amplitude-based modulation is included. Frequency-based modulation is usually called vibrato, amplitude-based is called tremolo, and time-based doesn't seem to have a separate name. By introducing modulation to a delay plugin, we can shift the time of the delays, the frequency of the delays, or the amplitude of the delays. This will of course depend on what type of modulation the plugin that you're using offers. Let's take a listen to these different types of modulation.
Heart is under the sea, drowning for clemency. And I'm not really brave, but this is nature, I won't leave you. I thought that it would work, baby, I was sure. But you never left me, and you leave me out.
Delay as an instrument. Delay can be used for creative and writing purposes. For example, we can use delay on a snare to change the performance. If the delay tap is strong enough, it'll just sound like an additional snare hit, the same being said for any other instrument. With that in mind, experiment with delay to see if you can create unique compositions utilizing multiple delays as a unique form of time-based arpeggiation. With frequency modulation included, you could even make it sound like an actual arpeggiator. Let's take a listen to delay being used creatively. If you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching.